palm tree, it is now found in more than half of all the products sold in U.S. supermarkets, from cookies to cosmetics. This labor-intensive work has changed little since the 1960s, when the government first pushed the expansion of palm oil production. Today, palm oil is Malaysia's top crop, netting $25 billion a year and driving the spread of palm oil plantations into the wilderness. The once sleepy port town of Lahad Datu is the epicenter of Malaysia's palm oil boom. The local population has doubled over the past 15 years, and real estate prices are soaring in what has been dubbed Palm City.
This is the catalyst for all kind of business activities.
Nazran Datuk Mansour is a state assemblyman and aide to Sabah's chief minister. His government is expanding the port in Lahad Datu to include palm oil refineries, as well as fertilizer and biofuel plants.
Oil palm is the basis of our economy because it's readily available, and of course it's cheap. It's cheap to produce oil palm actually, compared to other oils.
One big reason the oil is so cheap to produce is the steady supply of migrant labor. The palm oil sector relies on some 500,000 foreign workers to feed global demand for the product and fuel Malaysia's economic prosperity. For decades, Indonesian and Filipino workers have migrated to Sabah to harvest the palm oil fruit. Lenary Marcus arrived with his parents from Indonesia when he was just 12 years old. Without documents to prove his residency, he could not enroll in school. So for the past 5 years, he has toiled on the plantations, earning about $7 a day. Fatma Tabo was studying in Indonesia until last year, but she stopped when her family ran out of money.
I'm working here, cutting and clearing palm branches. But now I don't have money. How can you enter school if you have no money?
Lenary and Fatma's stories are similar to that of an estimated 50,000 migrant children without access to education in Sabah.
They have no papers. They cannot work legally. So in a way, they are invisible.
As director of a social welfare charity in Sabah, Alison Neary has seen what happens to migrant children who don't go to school.
There's nowhere else for them to go. So the only thing is for them to help their parents to supplement the income of the family.
More of the world's working children are employed in agriculture than in any other sector, according to the International Labor Organization. In Sabah, surveys show that more than half of the children without schooling end up working as child laborers. Fatma's father, Mapi Tabo, and his family of 5 children, ages 5 to 18, live and work on a secluded 60-acre plantation about 1 hour by car from Lahad Datu. Since arriving, the family has faced a common problem: where to enroll their kids in school. 10 years after moving from Indonesia for a better-paying job, the 41-year-old still risks arrest and possible deportation if caught by police. For him, sending the kids to a Malaysian school in town is not an option.
A lot of migrants come in with the children, or they have newborn children there. They have no documents, they have no access to education, no access even to the outside world.
Agil Fernandez grew up in a migrant family on a Malaysian tea plantation. She is now program director for Tanah Ganita, a Malaysia-based nonprofit that assists migrant workers.
If you look back, even from our independence, right up to after independence, right, education was for all. There was no question of whether you had a document. So everyone could enter into any school that was nearest to you.
According to the latest census, migrants, mostly from Indonesia, now comprise nearly 1/3 of the 3.2 million population in Sabah province. And that, says Fernandez, has made the government less willing to pay for universal education.
This whole question that arose from locals, that if you provide the education for migrant children, then the local children lose out.
At a plantation owned by PPB Oil Palms, a special school run by a local nonprofit called Humana has been trying to address the migrants' education needs. Humana was founded over 2 decades ago by Danish native Torben Venning.
We saw children going around in the plantations without any education. So in 1990, the first 3 school projects were started with 70 children due to the demand for education. It has grown to 128 learning centers now with more than 12,000 children. Through our projects, I believe that they have had a big effect in actually getting an awareness that the children existed and also that they should go to school.
The palm oil company paid for the construction of this schoolhouse, the books, and the uniforms. Humana provides the teachers and the study plans. PPB Group Manager Frederick Choke says the schools help the company attract and retain skilled labor.
The reason why they are here again because a lot of them, they want to put their children into the Humana school.
Today, an estimated 12,000 migrant youth have access to basic education offered at the nonprofit learning centers. But for tens of thousands of kids who work on other plantations, school remains out of reach, and officials show no indication that reality will change.
The government seems to agree with the fact that children of these workers need education too, but they are not qualified to enter the local schools because they don't have the proper papers.
Meanwhile, Fatma Tabo still holds on to hope she can return to school and dreams that her siblings will get an education.
I want my brother and sister to go to school so they will be able to read and count.
But for now, the Tabo kids and thousands of other migrant children will continue to toil in the shadows of the palm oil trees.
Steve Sapienza has reported other stories about the social and environmental costs